My name is Kyle C, and today on the Season 5 premiere of The Stoop, a mini podcast series, we're going to be doing an all-time basketball fantasy draft. So this is basically what it consists of. It's myself and the rest of my South Sharad family members as we basically do an all-time basketball fantasy draft based on the greatest players of all time for the last 40 years. So basically from 1980 until right now. So basically, Wilt Chamberlain and Jerry West are not available. And you can draft any way you want. So basically, you can go from Michael Jordan to Rafael Arujo if you want. That's on you. We go 7 rounds deep based on your starting lineup, which would be the center, power forward, small forward, point guard, and shooting guard, as well as 2 flex spots. Also, I'm going to be posting each round separately so that you can see each and every round step by step. And I'm also going to post the final cut, which is the actual entire draft. I'll post that at the end. Now, because I normally do podcasts, at this time I usually would say for you to follow my podcast on South Sharad Radio. And you can listen to it wherever you listen to podcasts, which is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Alexa, just for starters. And I would also tell you to listen, rate, review, and subscribe to all of the shows on South Sharad Radio. But I also want you to like and subscribe right here. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can check out all the latest episodes, series, content that I have provided for South Sharad. And I appreciate you guys for spending, free 99 to do that. I appreciate you. But make sure you like and subscribe as well on this here channel. Other than that, I've said everything else I wanted to say. I don't want to hold this process up, so let's get started. This is The Stoop on South Sharad Radio, and Season 5 begins now. Welcome to The Stoop, where we're about to have the all-time basketball fantasy draft. So before we begin, I usually refer to most of these guys on this screen as South Sharad family members, so this is the first time we're getting the chance to see their faces. So we'll start with the person who has the number 1 pick. We affectionately call him here as Julian, a.k.a. Juice of Commission, because he runs about 419 fantasy leagues across the GTA, across all 4 major sports. How you doing today, sir?
Good, very good, very good. As you know, I am the commish. You guys are setting yourselves up for failure by doing a fantasy draft with me. I don't understand this, but thank you for having me.
No problem.
Great draft, homie. How could you?
We'll see. All right, next up, we got another South Sharad family member. In his past life, he was an All-American in track, and on his resume, he's gonna now have on his resume. He also lived in the same city as Kareem Maine. Ladies and gentlemen, headlines to the show. How you doing?
Say Hubert Quebec, baby. Represent. I'm good.
All right, and next up, we got the one of the other South Sharad family members, a South Shore representative, head coach of XL Hoops, and he's a COO of Team Lightskin. Ladies and gentlemen, Randall Walton to the show. How you doing?
Yes, sir. Man, I like the other introduction you had last time, man. That was just...
I have to shorten it up a little bit, man.
I got you, brother.
and the last but not least, he's the first-time guest of the show. He's in our fantasy draft that we play in, but in his past life, he was the all-time scorer in Canadian basketball history. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Batchelor to the show. How you doing today, sir?
You guys doing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I already explained the rules in the beginning with this intro, so we're going to pretty much get down to it. So one more time, the order of the draft is Julian goes first, Anthony second, I'm third, Randall's fourth, and Henley's rounding up the first round with the snake draft commitments going through. So let me just share the screen so you guys can see how everything's going to be listed here. Everybody can see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Nice.
All right, so we're good to go. All right, so without further ado, Julian, who's your number 1 pick?
All right, so the first pick going to the 2020 all-time career fantasy draft goes to, will be, DeMar DeRozan. No, I'm joking. I
was literally about to type.
I was trying to keep a poker face. I was like, yo, this guy's a real homer.
Delete that. So,
I know you want to draft him, though. You
I do.
If
it was the volume categories, I would have definitely taken him. But no,
If it was on mid-range shots, you would have
Mid-range
definitely
shots.
absolutely drafted him.
and no threes as the cat. But anyhow, no, honestly, the first pick is going to go to, and it wasn't easy actually, but I had to go with Michael Jordan. But the reason why it wasn't easy, he's not like your typical, like he is your stat stuffer, but he's like your triple double type of guy that you would want in a fantasy draft. But he still gets me the points. He still gets me I think he averaged 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and got almost 50% from the field.
Yeah.
And he gets me the three ball. So you can't go wrong with taking Michael Jordan. But honestly, it wasn't like an easy, clear-cut pick as my first pick overall.
And I figured too, you probably got seduced by The Last Dance, so that's probably why you chose him as well. But you know
But
what?
that documentary was bum though. I was expecting more.
I was too. So no, that did not influence me.
Bum? You thought it was bum?
Well, sorry, that's harsh. I wouldn't say bum, but I was expecting more nuggets.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I said it to you guys already. The first 2 chapters to me was the best because there was a lot of stuff I didn't already know. But as a huge basketball fan and a Bulls fan growing up, a lot of the other intricacies I already kind of knew, right? So
Yeah, I think from everything until he first retired, I think it was probably the first 6 episodes. I think it was really good. I thought it was good, but it came at the perfect time too, right? Where the whole world was on lockdown at the point.
exactly.
You had nothing to watch. Shows like Billions was off the air. It was the perfect time to come through. But yeah, you can't argue with Jordan being the number 1 pick.
No, you can't.
No, I mean I forget.
He's my shooting guard too, right? So I know you said we had to choose positions, right?
Yes. So let me
you should put that in there so
yeah,
we can
got it.
out correctly. So yeah, he's my shooting guard.
Okay.
And there ain't many shooting guards that can fill up a stat sheet like Mike can.
Like him.
So that's another reason why I chose Mike.
No, absolutely. All right. Second pick is Anthony. Who you got?
My second pick, I'm gonna have to roll with LeBron.
Ooh. Okay.
I did not want to go with LeBron as my first, but obviously with Jordan coming off the board, which was kind of an easy one. I gotta keep it real with the whole position. LeBron can play many positions, and the numbers across the board. I mean, he's putting them up. Career wise, you're looking at 27. Rebound wise, you're over 5. You're looking at about 7. And then assist wise, 7. And then the fact that because he can't really shoot, his field goal percentage is actually up. So a lot of 3-point jumpers aren't really coming down to bring my percentage down. So field goal percentage is 50%. But now, as of late, being that he now has a better IQ to where, not better, but he's always had the IQ, but now that he can actually, his shot selection is getting better. And being that he's always continuously looking for other superstars to play with because he can't do it by himself. Yes, I'm saying that. His 3-point field goal percentage is actually up as well, looking around low 30s, which is somewhat decent enough for me so that when I add my next round of players, that 3-point percentage won't be killing me too bad.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, 27, 7, and 7. For everybody that rips him and all that stuff, and I mean, shit, I take shots at him too when I can here and there. I mean, you can't deny the all around greatness, and he's great for fantasy.
Yeah.
So for you LeBron lovers, this doesn't solidify him being the number 2 player of all time in real life just because he's being selected number 2 in this thing.
That's what we talked about. Fantasy, were we doing fantasy or reality, right? It makes a difference.
No, absolutely. All right, so let me go third here. I'm gonna go with he revolutionized his position.
I already know who you're taking from
all-around player. I mean, he's the best at his position by far, I think. And I could probably show you better than I could tell you. Hold on a second for y'all to see right there.
Damn.
Really? That early? Ooh, wow. I was not expecting that, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? I mean, you can spit all the career stats, but fantasy-wise, I mean, the guy's pretty much a walking triple-double. 19.7 boards, especially from your point guard, which is crazy. And then you know, the assists, he's giving you like 11, 12 assists a night. He shoots great field goal percentage. He's a good free throw shooter.
Mhm.
You know, he gets steals, he gets blocks. I mean, he especially from the point guard position, like he's a stat stuffer. I mean, you can't, regardless if you played in the '80s, you know, you can't deny that, man. Facts is facts. Can't deny that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Y'all thought this was early?
I mean, for other people that would probably put up better numbers, like he's a rocking triple double for sure. But I just feel that there's other people on the board, fantasy number wise, that probably would go before Magic.
And plus for me, he's my all-time favorite player. I can't see him on any of your teams. It's got to be on mine. So that's why I'm going with him. But you know, he's my guy. So I you know, like just I got a bias, but at the same time, you know, I think stat-wise, he does a really great job for the point guard position, especially the boards, man. Like you can't front on that, you know, career-wise. Like he's crazy. Of course, why wouldn't he be 6'9" point guard? That's why there's only he's like a 1-on-1, right?
Right.
Essentially. All right. So actually let me put this up in here. So while I'm typing this in, Randall, who's your pick?
I mean, if we go fantasy wise, I mean, this guy was a stat stuffer. You know what I mean? Like he averaged 30 points a game, almost 23 rebounds a game. You know, over almost 5 assists a game, a little like 4.4 point assists a game, and I think he averaged almost like.
Don't say it, Julian. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'll let him finish.
Yeah, let him finish. Let him finish.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Okay, so we're gonna rewind. We're gonna rewind it a little bit. This is recorded, but we're gonna rewind this a little bit. So
He touched the 80s?
it's from
How
19
old is he?
How old is he, Randall?
What does it matter?
What do you mean?
Nah.
It's from 1980 and up.
Oh, you took. I sorry, my bad. I didn't even.
Yo, I saw Julian like this. Like, I don't know,
When I had 23,
Yeah,
when I had 23 rebounds,
I know exactly. Do you see my shit? I was like this. Did he say 23 rebounds? I was like, man, he's doing it.
Yeah. But,
Okay. Rewind it then. I didn't know it was 1980. My bad. I thought it was all time.
no, this is recorded. This is recorded, so I can't erase this point. It's fine.
All right. Well,
you gotta eat the cost of that.
Then I'm gonna go with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay.
And why Kareem? Because Wilt wasn't available?
You bastard. I mean, he still averaged, you know what I mean? He still got almost like, you know, historic numbers, almost 25 points a game, over, you know, close to 11 rebounds a game, you know, close to 4 assists a game. And he's still fantasy legend in regard, and field goal percentage is up there. I can't find his blocks per game, but I'm sure he had a couple. So
yeah, his blocks is like it's over 2 a game, I think, for his career. I actually was hoping he would come back around so I can grab him. He's almost 3 actually, and I don't even think they counted his stats in the first. They didn't count his stats the first few years. I don't think blocks was like counted until like the mid 70s. So he missed a few years where they weren't even counting that. So you know that was high back then.
yeah.
You know, but yeah, no, that's a good pick. Like I said, I was hoping that would come back around. But yeah, Wilt Chamberlain is not available. Headley, you're next. You're wrapping up the first round. Who you got?
All right. So I got 2 picks, so it really doesn't make a difference in terms of order. But doing my research, if you're looking at the top 5 years, statistically, he's had the best fantasy year of all time. So definitely over the course of 5 years, he's up there. Career-wise, he's top 5. Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Larry Bird.
When I was looking at Bird's numbers, it popped up to me, like it actually surprised me how many.
Yeah.
You know, because when you see the highlights, it's all like jumpers and threes and points. You know, and some flamboyant, you know, some crazy assists and whatnot. In the highlights, I'm talking about. But yeah, his actually his career stats, I was like, whoa, in terms of the other things that he could do in terms of fantasy wise.
Yo, I'll tell you a funny story. I still remember in high school, you know, obviously Bird was, you know, he was part of the dream team, right? And I knew he was good, but obviously that was when he was ailing, right? He had bad knees, bad ankles at that time. And I remember, back then when you used to watch those highlight reels, videos of your favorite player and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I watched Bird's Nest, the career on Larry Bird.
Oh, VHS, right?
On VHS. To this day, it's the best highlight reel I've ever. I never knew how much of a trash talker Larry Bird was until I watched that reel. I was like, yo, Bird is one badass white boy, straight up and down. You know what I mean? I give that guy all the praise and all the respects.
And you know what's crazy though too? Like, growing up, I've been watching ball since I was like in elementary school, right? Like most of us or whatever. But I never liked them. I hated the Celtics, right? I was always a Lakers guy and, riding with them. It's only this last couple of years in the league, like when he was slowing down and you got a chance to understand basketball a little more. And that's when you're like, yo, this guy was nice. So, he had a bad back and everything. But it's funny. One of my favorite trash talk stories that he's ever, and he's had many, but one of my favorite trash talk stories that I've ever heard from him was, they were talking about one time this is when he was at the very peak of his career. And he said he was so bored with the competition that he was like, you know what? I'm going to average 35 a night on this 7-game road trip. Right. So after 6 games, he averaged like over 35. And then they said the last game, he was like, you know what? I'm going to do 35 or whatever, but I'm only going to shoot left-handed. And they said after 3 quarters, he had like 40 points. And when you look at the highlights, every shot, left hand, left hand, left hand, left hand. It's insane.
To see somebody do that in a game,
in an NBA game.
In an NBA
Yeah, exactly.
game, a professional game, like your career, like he could do anything he wanted, but like no player can do that at that professional level, and because you're risking everything, not only like your team like a loss, but just your whole credibility. And it's mind-boggling that he actually did that.
No,
even for that era.
No, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. It's just this story is crazy. But when you see the highlights and you just see them like taking hook shots and jumpers and runners with his left hand, I'm like, yo, like it ain't fair. And like it all. That's why I always say with basketball, as much as you want to be a great athlete, it's really about the skill. It's about the foundation of your skills. Because look how slow he was. He wasn't the biggest, like he wasn't the fastest guy and stuff. And there was guys in the 80s that was super athletic. Like every time he used to play Dominique, he used to destroy him. And Dominique was crazy athletic. Nobody could stop him, So,
I think Neek was talking about a story. I don't know if it was his team. I don't know if it was him or one of his teammates where Bird was like, yo, it was like, I think the game was tied or they're down 1. And he went to the opposing player. He told him, like, listen, I'm going to get the ball right here. I'm going to dribble right here. And I'm going to take the shot right here.
I heard that.
And he did exactly that. And then not only did he score, he went to the guy and he's like, yo, I didn't mean to leave any time on the clock. There was like 0.1 seconds left. And he's like, I meant it to be a buzzer beater. Like, what an asshole, man. Like, straight up. Straight up.
Ain't nothing you can do about it either.
No, what are you going to do? You just got to eat it.
You just got to eat it.
You just got to eat it.
It's the reason why, because especially now, when they have these conversations about best players of all time, like his name doesn't really get mentioned that much anymore, right? But it's like there's a reason why like him and Magic saved the league, right? Like you can't deny that talent. He's unbelievable.